Hey everybody, welcome to class today. Today is going to be an all levels balancing and external rotation hands-free class. So we don't do any weight-bearing poses on the hands or the wrists. So if you've got any injuries to your shoulders, wrists, hands, elbows, this is a really good class for you. If you enjoy these classes, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you have any class requests or if you want to know more or if you've got any feedback, either let me know in the comments or head over to my Instagram, shoot me a message. We're going to get started today lying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. Starting lying on your back in Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together, bring the hands out to the sides, palms face up. And take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then let it go through the mouth. One more like that, nice deep breath in through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. And start to breathe in and out through the nose, inviting in Ujjayi Pranayama. Maybe setting an intention for your practice today. And then keeping the eyes closed or gently opening them, bring the knees together, squeeze the knees in towards the chest, draw the nose up towards the knees, and just give yourself a little squeeze, maybe rocking from side to side. And then bring the feet down to the floor as if you're going to come into bridge pose. Take your thumbs to the lower rib cage and take your index finger or your middle finger to the tips, the frontal tips of your pelvis. And then think of gently drawing those spaces together. So don't push the belly out. Think of gently drawing the lower back into the floor as the ribs and the pelvis draw towards each other. And then switch on the back of your legs as if you're drawing your heels towards your bum. See if you can keep this and keep that natural deep inhale and exhale. Keep the engagement of your lower belly. Take the hands behind the head, elbows stay wide. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, think of the lower ribs sliding towards the pelvis as opposed to trying to get the chest towards the sky as you start to lift the upper body off the mat. Only the shoulder blades come off, the lower back stays on the ground. And then exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, slide ribs to hips, peel it up. And then exhale, lower. Keep going like this. Keep your elbows wide, a gentle tuck of your chin to lengthen through the back of the neck, and a gentle engagement through the back of the legs. Maybe see if you can draw up through your pelvic floor. And if you're feeling like this is enough work and it's hard enough to get the engagement doing this, then you can stay here. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, bring the head down to the floor and then float the right leg up without gripping through the hip flexor, and then float the left leg up. If this caused your lower back to arch away from the ground, take your feet back down to the floor or just re-establish that hip to rib connection if you can. And then the same thing, start to lift the neck, head, upper body off, and then slowly lower down. Sliding the ribs towards the hips. The shins are parallel to the floor and the knees should be pretty much directly perpendicular to the hips. And once again, if this is going really well for you, you can make this harder by starting to extend the legs straight as if you're pointing them on a 45-degree angle, kind of like where the roof and the wall would meet. And again, if this causes any changes in your lower back, stick with the previous variation. And our final little up level, if you can maintain everything, including your breath, you can start to lower the legs down closer towards the floor. So we're more in an Ardha Navasana sort of shape. Take 3 more wherever you're at. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. Maybe shake your head side to side to release any tension. And then coming back to that tabletop position. If that's too much, then you're going to keep the feet on the floor. And this time taking the hands directly up towards the ceiling. Let the shoulder heads drop back into the sockets. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're going to extend your left leg long, your right arm long. Keep that rib to hip connection and keep that solid foundation through your center. Exhale it back to center. Inhale, right leg, left arm long. Exhale to center. Keep going like this, and if this is too much, then you're just going to slide your foot out along the floor and then slide it back in. Whatever level you're at, keep going, stay steady with your breath, and keep the shoulders and neck relaxed. The lower your foot comes to the floor, the harder it will be, so if you need to modify, take your foot a little bit higher into the air. Take 1 more on each side to make yourself even. And then draw everything into the midline. Give it a little bit of a rock side to side. Shake the head side to side. And then bring the hands back behind the head, either coming to your tabletop position or keeping the feet on the floor. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, slide the ribs towards the hips as you peel the upper body off. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're going to think of your right elbow spinning towards the floor. So as opposed to thinking of getting the left elbow to the right knee, I really want you to draw back through the right elbow to get the twist. Stay here, or maybe you can extend the left leg long or slide it out along the floor. Inhale back to center. Exhale. This time twist that left elbow towards the floor. Maybe you can't get it as far as the other side, or maybe it goes further than the other side. Keep twisting through the elbow as opposed to through the neck. Stay here, or maybe extend the right leg long. Exhale it through center. Inhale to twist. Exhale through center. Inhale to twist. Exhale through center. Keep going like this, using your hands as a cradle for your head so that you're not just yanking on the back of your neck or holding a lot of tension there. Take 1 more on each side. And then slowly lower it down, hug the knees in towards the chest. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Plant down through the left foot, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, you're just going to bridge the hips up. Take the hands to the hips. Make sure you're not dropping down through that right hip. Draw the right hip up in line with the left by really engaging the left glute and hamstring. But see if you can let the right knee fall towards the floor, starting to get a nice hip opening in through the right hip. And then slowly rolling it down, switch it out, take an inhale, and then on your exhale, ground down through the right foot, bridge the hips up, and then take your hands to the hips, see that they're relatively even. and then slowly lowering it down. Cross at the legs, grab a hold of the big toes, and then start to rock and roll the length of the spine. Making your way all the way up to a seated position. Take a cross through the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, up and overhead. One more time each side. Inhale, sweep it up through center. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Keep the left sit bone grounded. Inhale, use the belly to draw yourself through center. And then as you exhale, take the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over to the left. Inhale through center. One more time each side. Inhale through center. Take the hands to the knees. Take your hands to the front shin. And as you inhale, you're going to reach the sternum forward. And then as you exhale, you're going to roll back through the pelvis. So we're essentially doing cat-cow, but we're in a seated position. Almost like you're riding a camel. Take two more. And come up through center. Make your way to the front of your mat. We're going to take 2 rolls and then we're going to make our way all the way into a standing position. So roll yourself back, roll forward, and this time roll back. Get some momentum without your hands if you can. Come all the way to standing. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale through center. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Keep the right hip drawing forward. Inhale through center. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale through center. Exhale to fold. Inhale, step the right leg back, lower the knee. Exhale, we're coming to a tabletop position. Bend the elbows, lower the chin and the forehead and the chest to the floor. Inhale, come through to cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, step the right leg forward, coming back into your lunge. Shine the chest forward. Exhale, forward fold at the top of the mat. So we're doing a modified Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, come to tabletop. If tabletop is too much on the wrist, or if you really want to do this hands free, you're just going to come to a kneeling position. Exhale, we're going to lower the chin and the chest, or from your kneeling position, you can come to a forearm plank. From here, wherever you are, you're going to lower onto the belly. Inhale, peel the chest up, elbows back, cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, step that left leg forward, coming into your lunge. Exhale, fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Maybe you keep the knee lifted this time. Exhale, come to your tabletop or your kneeling. Hold the breath as you lower down to the floor. Inhale, peel up, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Step the right leg forward, coming into your lunge, maybe lifting the left knee. Exhale, fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, raise all the way up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, left leg steps for a lunge. Exhale, tabletop or kneel. Hold the breath, lower down, your version. Inhale, peel up, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Step the left leg forward, inhale into your lunge. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, raise up. Just one more like that. Exhale to fold. Inhale, right leg steps. Exhale. Hold the breath, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, kneeling. Hold the breath, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, chair pose. Exhale, stand. Modified Surya Namaskar B. This is a fun one. Inhale, sink the hips, chair pose. Keep sinking all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Navasana, inhale. Exhale, take a roll back on the spine. Roll all the way back up to chair pose, inhale. Step the right leg back, crescent lunge. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, step it forward to chair. Lower all the way down, sink the hips, Navasana. Take a roll back on the spine. Come all the way up to chair. And then step the left leg back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale in chair. Exhale to stand. Inhale, chair pose. Lower all the way down. Exhale, take a roll on the spine. Inhale, bring it all the way up to chair. Exhale here. Step the right leg back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward to chair. Start to sink the hips. Roll it all the way back. All the way forward up to chair. Take a cycle of breath. And then step the left leg back. Take an inhale in your crescent. Exhale, step it forward to chair. Come to standing. Inhale, chair pose. Sink it all the way down. Lower the hips, Navasana. Roll it all the way back. And then make your way to chair. Take an exhale. Step the right leg back. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, back into chair. Sink the hips, Navasana. Roll it back. Match it to a breath that makes sense for you. Come through to chair. Take an inhale. Exhale. Step the left leg back. Inhale into your crescent. Exhale, chair pose. Sink all the way down. Navasana. Roll it back. Come all the way up. Inhale into chair. And then exhale to stand. We'll take two more like that. Inhale, chair. Sink all the way down. Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Take a step back with the right leg. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, chair. Sink all the way down. Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Take a step back with the left leg. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, step it forward. Lower all the way down. Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Inhale, chair. Exhale to stand. Last time. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lower all the way down, Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Take a step back with the right leg. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, step it forward to chair. Lower all the way down, Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Step the left leg back. Inhale into your crescent. Exhale into your chair. Lower all the way down. Navasana. Roll it back. Roll it up. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Just let the upper body hang. Maybe taking opposite hand to opposite elbow, opening up through the backs of the hamstrings. And then from here, inhale, roll all the way up, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step the left leg back, inhale, crescent lunge. We're going to hold for 5 breaths. Draw the right hip back, the left hip forward. Take the left hand to the belly, the right hand to the sacrum, and see if you can re-establish that rib to hip connection that we did on the floor at the start. And then hug that right hip in to make sure that the knee isn't collapsing. Keep the legs as they are. Start to hinge the torso forward from the hips, reaching with a long line through the arms. If arms forward is too much, you can sweep the arms back behind you. Wherever you are, keep broad through the collarbones. From here, you're just going to lower the back knee down. We're coming into Anjaneyasana. You can untuck the back toes and take whatever variation with the arms feels good for you. Maybe you open up the chest with cactus arms or interlace the fingers behind you, opening up the shoulders. And then exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana. Straighten out through the front legs, send the hips back towards the heels. And then you're going to pivot towards the long end of your mat. So spin on the left knee. The right leg is going to extend out to the side. We're coming into Parigasana, gate pose. So take the right hand to the right leg. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. And then as you exhale, side bend over towards the right. Inhale, bring it up through center. Frog pose, everybody's favorite. So you're going to turn to the inside edges of your feet. Walk the knees out as far as they will go, and then bring the ankles in line with the knees. Knees out, ankles out, knees out, ankles out. Your shins should be in it, so the line between your knee and your ankle should be straight. And then you can come down onto your forearms. You can stay up onto your hands. You can work with shifting backwards and forwards. This pose is never going to be comfortable, but if you need extra padding under the knees, please take it. And then pressing up onto the hands, walk that right knee into center, extend the left leg off to the back of the mat, take the left hand to the left thigh, inhale, sweep the right arm up, and then as you exhale, gate latch pose to the left. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to pivot towards the back of the mat, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. The right knee is under the right hip, and the left toes are drawing back towards the face. See if you can shine the chest forward as you draw that left hip back into the left socket. And then grounding down through that left foot, shift the hips forward, Anjaneyasana. And just like you did in crescent, think of the frontal hip points drawing towards the ribs, as opposed to just dumping into the hips. You'll feel a much better stretch if you're more active in the pose. And then tucking under the back toes, we're lifting up into our power lunge. So send the torso forward at a 45, hug the left hip in, and make sure that that left knee is tracking directly forward as you send energy out through the back heel. Inhale, come up, crescent pose. Maybe taking the right hand to the front of the belly, the left hand to the sacrum, and gently drawing the front hand up, the back hand down. See if you can sink a little lower, but keep that right knee lifting. And then from here, we're going to step forward into a chair pose. Take an inhale here, exhale, balanced chair. Inhale, chair, exhale, balanced chair. 3 more breaths like that. And then stay in your balanced chair. Maybe the hands reach back, engaging the triceps, or maybe the hands reach forward. Do what feels best for you. Hug the outer ankles in so you're not just collapsing onto the outer edges of the feet. Keep weighting through the big toes. And then keeping that stability in the ankles, as long as this doesn't bother your knees, slowly as you can start to lower the hips down to the heels, and we're coming into a toe squat. So you can either stay here sitting up tall, balanced on your heels, or maybe you start to work the heels towards each other, the mounds of the big toes together, and bring the knees wide, sitting up tall in another variation of toe squat. Take it to the level that challenges you the most. We're going to come back here a few times in class, so know that you can always change it up. And then from here, you're slowly going to lower the hips down to the floor. Navasana, boat pose. Knowing that you can always keep the feet on the floor as an option, or hold behind the backs of the knees. And then from here, we're going to take a roll along the spine, and we're going to meet all the way back in standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step the right leg to the back of the mat. Set yourself up heel to arch. We're coming into warrior two. The back foot turns in on an angle, and that front knee is tracking directly over the second and third toes. See if you can spin the back ribs back, but the right hip keeps angling forward. And then float the arms out to capital T. You can bend a little deeper into the left knee, bringing the shin perpendicular with the floor, hugging in through the left foot. And keep this same setup of your legs. Flip the front palm, and as you inhale, grow long through the left side body to reverse your warrior. Keep the legs, start to tilt forward at the hips, side angle pose. You can either bring the forearm to the thigh, the hand to the inside of the foot, or the hand to the outside of the foot. Always feeling free to use a block. Do whatever creates the most space in your body. Keep the length through the spine, lengthen from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, and you should be able to get your whole of your back foot to the floor. And from here, you're going to start to bring yourself back up. Bend into the right leg. So you might need to angle that foot out a little bit. Start to flex through the left foot as you straighten it. Coming into a rainbow warrior. Sweep the right arm forward, the left arm back. This might actually be a reverse rainbow warrior. I'm not entirely sure. That's all right. If you find that this is too much pressure on the back knee, you can always feel free to straighten the back leg and come into a more upright version of the pose. Plant down through the left foot, turn that right foot back in, setting up for triangle pose. Straight front leg, don't lock out the knee. Hinge forward at the hips, and then tilt the upper body over. Again, hand to shin or hand to block. If your hand is on the shin, you're not pressing the shin back and hyperextending the knee. You should be able to float that hand and keep your torso in exactly the same position. Inhale, use your abs to bring all the way back up. Turn both toes out. And then as you exhale, hands to heart center, we're coming into goddess pose. Once again, the knees are pointing in the same direction as the feet, so if you need to adjust and walk your feet in or out, feel free to do so. You can stay here, or maybe you take some pulses up and down. And then turning that right foot parallel with the long end of the mat. Turn that back foot in, coming into warrior two on the right leg. Same setup as the first side. I'll bore you with the instructions twice. Keeping that right hip hugging in, flip the front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior, sweeping the sky. Try not to hinge in through the lower back, keep a nice opening through that right side body and through the left side body. upright in the torso. Keep the legs coming to your version of side angle pose. Try and make it the same as the first side, but if you know that you have an injury or a big asymmetry, do what you need to do. You can always shorten the stance, and know that once you're in a pose, you can always feel free to move. It doesn't have to be static. Drop up back to warrior two. Turn the left toes out slightly, start to bend into the left knee, straighten out through the front leg, take the left arm forward, sweep the right arm back for this variation of rainbow warrior. And then grab down through that left toe, turn the back foot in again, heel to arch, straighten out through the front leg without locking the front knee, reach the right arm forward as far as you can, and then tilt forward at the pelvis. If you hyperextended through that knee, take a gentle bend. A good way to know is if you feel like you can't contract your quads, you're probably hyperextended. So think of just pressing into the back of the knee just slightly, almost like you're giving yourself a jelly leg, and then lengthen through both sides of the torso. From here, look towards the top of the mat. We're going to step all the way up to our balanced chair on your inhale. Exhale, lower the heels. 4 more breaths like that. Take an inhale, raise up into your balanced chair. Start to lower down through the hips. And then come into your version of a toe squat. Maybe you try something different than before. Maybe you start to take your gaze up to really challenge the balance. And because we are working on opening the hips today, see if you can bring the knees out to the sides. And then lowering the hips down, Navasana. This time see if you can bring the soles of the feet together. Or if you're like me and you don't have that opening, just bring the inside edges of the feet together. The knees are wide. And then once again, we're going to take that roll along the spine, coming all the way back up to standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Ground down through the right foot, bring the sole of the left foot in towards the inner right thigh for tree pose. And press the right leg into the left foot as much as the left foot presses into the right leg. The left knee is working towards the back of the mat, but both hips keep facing forward. You can choose to keep the hands at heart center, or you can reach them up and overhead. And from here, ground down strongly through the right leg. Keep the left leg as it is. You're just going to float the foot away from the leg, from the right leg. So see if you can keep the height through the hip. You'll really have to engage the left glute. And try not to swing the torso back to the left. Try and keep the left side of the torso working towards the front of the mat. From here, you're going to start to bring that left leg in front of you. We're coming into a Shiva squat, so as if you were going to cross the left ankle over the right knee, except you're not. You're just going to float it there. Bend into the right knee like you're sitting into a single leg chair. Keep that right glute hugging in strongly and take a peek down. Make sure that that right knee hasn't folded in towards the midline. And now you can cross that left ankle over the top of the right knee, sinking down deeper. Ekapada Agni Stambhasana. You can choose to keep the hands at heart center, or you can hook the elbows over the shin. And then from here, you're just going to slide that left knee over the right, wrapping the left foot behind the right calf, left arm underneath the right, Garudasana, eagle pose. And from here, you're going to unwind yourself, step wide to the back of the mat, take an inhale, reach the arms up and over your head. And then as you exhale, fold forward for Prasarita. You can stay here, or if a bound headstand is in your practice, take the forearms to the mat, interlace the fingers, bring the crown of the head down to the floor, and then start to walk the feet in, bring the knees to the chest, and then send the feet up towards the sky. And if you went upside down, slowly bring the knees back in towards the chest, split the legs, take them out, coming back into your forward fold. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise all the way up. And then you're going to pivot to the back of your mat, wrap that right leg around the left, right arm underneath the left, coming into Garudasana at the back of the mat. Think of the inner thighs squeezing towards each other and the bottom arm pressing up into the top arm to create space. And then just unwind that right leg, cross the left ankle over the right ankle over the left knee, coming into Ekapada Agni Stambhasana, maybe hooking the elbows over the shins, over the shin, similarly. Hugging in through that left hip. And now strongly hugging through the left hip. Make sure that the left knee doesn't collapse. Start to upright the torso and then just start to float that right shin above the left leg. You can take the hands to wherever makes the most sense for you. And then coming up into your floating tree. Both hips point forward. See how far you can work that right knee to the back of the room. And again, hands to heart or hands up and overhead. Take the right hand to the right ankle, draw the right foot into the upper left thigh, press the thigh into the foot, and then reach the hands up for tree pose. Think of growing tall away from the floor. Bee in my face, sorry. Bees like trees, didn't I? And then from here, you're going to lower the right foot, coming into your balanced chair. Take an inhale. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, raise the heels, sweep the arms back. Exhale to chair pose. Inhale, balanced chair. Exhale to chair. Take 3 more like this. And raise up onto the toes, coming into your balanced chair. And this time you're going to cross the right ankle over the top of the left shin, just like we did before, and start to sink down, 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 down. Maybe this time coming into toe balance on just one foot. So if you need to come back to both feet, that's totally fine. Otherwise, play around with bringing the hands up off the floor. And then if you can, keep this cross and slowly lower the hips down. Maybe that's not possible. Coming into a figure 4 Navasana. See if you can lift that bottom leg up off the floor and keep the nice length in through your spine. Unwind the legs, take a roll of the spine, coming all the way back up into standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring it down. Step the right leg back, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Take 3 more breaths like this. And then coming into a power side lunge. So if you can, reach the left arm forward and then sweep the right arm forward and reach the right arm. If this is too much, you can always bring the forearm to the thigh or come back into whatever variation you were in before. Keep length through the spine. Make sure the front knee doesn't collapse in. And then from here, you're going to take that left arm down, wrap it underneath the right, and then take the right arm behind the back, meeting the left hand. If a full bind is too much, you can just take the right hand behind the back, leave the left hand down. And look towards your left foot. Step the right foot up. Come onto the left toes. And then come all the way to standing. Bird of paradise. Maybe you stay with the left leg bent. Or maybe if you can keep a tall spine, you can straighten out through the left leg. And then slowly taking that left foot down towards the floor. Step the right leg back. Release your bind, straighten the front leg, coming into triangle. And as you next inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale into triangle. Inhale to reverse. Keep that gentle bend in the front knee. Take 3 more breaths. And then come up through center, turn both toes out to the side. We're coming back into our goddess squat. This time take the hands behind the head, and as you inhale, tap right elbow to right knee. Exhale through center. Inhale, left elbow, left knee. Inhale through center. 2 more to each side. Think of really crunching down through the side body, engaging the obliques. One more each side. And then pivot into your warrior 2 to the front of the mat. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. 4 more breaths just like that. Keep hugging that right hip in. And then reaching the right arm forward, maybe sweeping that left arm forward for the power side angle. Keep the left side body spinning up towards the sky. And then making your way into either your full bind or your half bind, maybe shortening your stance if you need. Looking towards the top of the mat, step the left foot up, ground down through the left foot. Start to lift that right foot up, coming into bird of paradise. If it's not available in your body, you can always stay in the forward fold. Maybe straighten out through that right leg. If you straighten the leg, slowly bend it again. Start to fold yourself forward. Set the right foot down. Step the left leg back. Release your bind. Start to straighten out through the leg for triangle pose. As you inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale, come forward into triangle. 4 more breaths. And then as you come up, inhale, step to the top of the mat, balanced chair. Exhale, set the heels down for chair. Inhale, balanced chair. Exhale, chair. 4 more breaths. And then inhale into your balanced chair. And then either lowering the hips down as you have before, or crossing that left ankle over the right knee, as if coming into Ekapada Agni Stambhasana, and then lowering all the way down, coming into toe balance. I'm pretty sure that this is the other side, but if I'm wrong, feel free to go to whatever side we didn't do before. And then with or without the support of your hands, lower the hips down, coming into that figure 4 Navasana. Keeping the nice tall spine, seeing if you can float the right foot up off the floor. And then releasing the figure 4, taking the roll of the spine, meeting all the way in standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, take a brief forward fold while I grab a drink. And coming into our final sequence. So from your forward fold, you're going to take your your right hand forward so it lands underneath the shoulder, and start to sweep the left leg back and up as you open up through the chest, coming into half moon pose. Strong karate kick through the left leg. Make sure you're not hyperextending the right leg. And think of spiraling the right rib cage towards the front of the room. And then start to bend through the left leg, bringing the heel to the glute. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you can reach back with that left hand, grabbing a hold of the foot or ankle, coming into Chapasana. We haven't really done many back bends today, so don't make it your deepest Chapasana. Think of it more as a quad stretch. Look down towards the floor, ground down through the right foot. Start to rotate the torso to the floor. Start to lift the right hand as you come all the way into standing. Maybe both hands wrap around the left foot. Stand tall through the torso. See if you can get your knees in line with each other for a nice quad stretch. Think of gently pressing the foot down into the hands, opening up through the shoulders without dumping into the lower back. From here, you're slowly going to release the left foot. We're coming into a floating half moon. So float that left leg behind you as you open up the chest to the front of the room. Oops. Maybe you take the right hand down and then float it off for your floating half moon, knowing that you can always just keep it down if you need to. And then from here, we're going to come up into a floating 5-pointed star. So reach both arms towards the front of the room. Keep that left leg reaching towards the back of the room. You might need to play around with the angle of your right foot. Keep the chest open. It's almost as if you were caught in a freeze frame, jumping to save a soccer goal or something. From here, you're going to pivot towards the front of your mat. Bring that left leg forward, a long time on one leg, I know. Extend the left leg in front of you, either coming into standing staff pose, or you can take the peace fingers, hook them around the big toe, and extend the leg for Utthita Padangusthasana. Really just depends if you want to stretch or strengthen. Now, if you don't have a hold of your big toe, I would probably recommend grabbing a hold of it. I find it makes it easier. Be careful if you have knee problems here, modify as you need to. We're going to come down into a pistol squat. So think of sending the hips backwards. The torso is going to come forward. Maybe use your right arm as a balancing point, coming all the way down to balance on the right toes. Maybe the right heel can come all the way to the floor. Maybe you can let go of the left toes, come into a balancing pistol squat. And then with as much control as you can, you're going to lower the hips down, wrap the peace fingers around both big toes, and send the legs out in front of you for Ubaya Padangusthasana. So it's like a version of Navasana holding onto the toes. And bend the knees as much as you need to. And then from here, you're just going to split the legs, coming into Supta Upta Vishta Konasana. And then from here, you're going to bring the feet back together. Take a bend in through the knees. You can hold behind the knees if you need to. We're going to take some rolls along the spine and catch our balance at either end. So start to round out through the spine, roll back onto the shoulders, and then roll back up into your balanced Navasana. We'll take 4 more just like that. Making sure that when you roll back, you're landing on the shoulders and not on the neck. And you should really feel your abs working to help control your balance if you're doing this right. And then we're going to do one more. Let go of the toes, roll all the way up, coming into your balanced chair for an inhale. And then exhale, come all the way to standing. One more side, sweep the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Take the left hand underneath the left shoulder, start to sweep that right leg up and out as you open up the right arm to the sky, coming into your half moon pose. Start to bend the right knee so the heel comes towards the glute. Stay here or grab a hold of that right foot or ankle with the right hand coming into Chapasana. And then making sure you're not locking out through that left knee, start to rotate the torso to the floor and then start to come up into standing, coming into your quad stretch. Maybe both hands hold around the right foot. Try and draw the knees towards each other, but keep that length in through the tailbone, just like we did all the way at the start of the class, drawing the ribs and the hips towards each other gently. And then coming into our floating half moon pose, release the foot, start to float the left hand down to hover just above the floor. As you reach the right arm up, karate kicking through that right leg, really engaging through the glute. Gentle bend in the left knee. And then starting to come up into our floating 5-pointed star. Reach both hands towards the front of the room, reach the right leg back, and see if you can pivot your torso to face the long end of the mat. And then starting to turn yourself to face the top of the mat. Extend that right leg out in front of you, either for standing staff to build strength, or hooking the peace fingers around the right big toe for Utthita Padangusthasana to build flexibility in the hamstrings. And then if you don't already have a hold of the big toe, maybe grabbing a hold of the big toe Sending the hips back as far as you can will really help with your balance here as you start to bend the knee, coming all the way into a pistol squat on the left leg. Maybe the heel can lower to the floor, maybe it can't. And maybe you keep a hold of the right big toe, or maybe you challenge yourself and let it go. And with as much control as you can, slowly lower the hips to the floor, grabbing onto the big toes one more time, coming into Ubaya Padangusthasana. See if you can lean the torso back a little bit more, open up through the shoulders, engage the core. And then split the legs. Bring the legs back in towards each other, maybe taking a bend in through the knees, maybe grabbing behind the legs. We're going to take 5 slow, controlled rolls. Catching your balance on your shoulders, and then using your strength to catch your balance in your Navasana variation. And then coming all the way back up, catching your balance, bring the soles of the feet together, fold it forward, Baddha Konasana. If folding it forward is not an option in your body, you can always keep the hands behind the hips and work on uprighting the torso. Otherwise, feel free to fold forward as much as is comfortable in your body. And then from here, you're going to straighten out through the right leg, bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, just like a tree pose on the floor. Turn the torso towards the left knee. Take the right hand either to the top of the right shin or underneath the right calf, and then side bend over towards that right foot, opening up through the left side of the chest. And then as you exhale, starting to fold out over that right foot, Janu Shirshasana. Your forehead does not have to touch your knee. Think about more lengthening the sternum towards the toes. And then slowly rolling it up, switching it over to the other side. Sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Turn the torso to face out over the right leg. Bring your left hand above or below the shin. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and over, coming into a side body stretch. And then looking towards your right toes, squaring the torso off over the leg, and then reaching forward for the foot, the calf, the knee, wherever is good for you. And then slowly rolling it all the way back up. Scoot yourself to the top of your mat and then make your way down onto your back. Give your knees one final hug in towards the chest. Maybe take a happy baby pose. And make any other movements you need before we come to Shavasana. And bringing the soles of the feet together, we're going to finish just the way we started. Supta Baddha Konasana. Of course, if there is another position that feels better in your body, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. One more like that, nice deep inhale through the nose. Feel the ribs, fill the belly. And exhale through the mouth. And then just letting go of the breath. Observing the thoughts. Without judgment and without attachment. Please stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you have time for today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Today, as you go forward, may you be calm in your thoughts, truthful in your words, and peaceful in your heart. Namaste.